Hello everyone. Today we are going to start a new lecture series based on Python programming. So our first lecture is on basics part 1. So before we get started into this lecture, uh, you guys can follow me on GitHub or Twitter for more updates. You can search me using @Leopiron. So let's get started. So here's our agenda. We will start about the language. We'll talk about the language, then the installation procedure, the strings, integers, what are variables, what are booleans, and how to use the conditions, and then structuring the data. Sounds very simple. We will try to wrap up this very quickly as possible. So let's talk about the history. So Python was developed by Guido van Rossum in 1991. So why people learn Python? So mainly main reasons. It's very easy to learn. Firstly, honestly speaking, it's very easy to learn. It consists of very less code, and it's very dynamic. It has a very dynamic syntax. Very easy to write, very dynamic syntax. I will explain more about that later. Then it has a huge support, open source support. I mean, there are a lot of libraries, lot of documentations available to perform any projects on this language. Okay, sounds fantastic. Let's move forward. So here I will start with installation. So I will share you guys two links. So let me show you the links. This Anaconda, yeah, by clicking that link you will come to this web page. Then you have to scroll down, and over here you will get your Anaconda installer. So there are 4 platforms: Windows, Macs, Linux. Choose anyone. Right now I am using Windows, so I will be using Python 3.7, and you can choose 64, 32, it's your option. Generally I prefer 32 bits, not much any difference in performance. And please don't install this Python 2.7, try to get a higher version of Python. And also you can check the size of each software is very large, 466, 423. So I have one more option. Yeah, you guys can check this out, Miniconda. It's a lighter version. Here is a Windows installer, Python 3.7. You can check the size difference, it's very small. The reason of this much size is because they have reduced lots of facility, lots of options. In this you get lots of options, so I prefer this one, this variant. But if you have low configuration, you can go for this Miniconda version. Okay, sounds very simple. And there are 3 kinds of platforms are there. Mainly you can divide it. One is text editor. In text editor, people usually use Sublime Text or Atom. Both are good, choose anyone. Then full ID, so you can choose between PyCharm and Spider. I generally prefer Spider. Then for notebook, for teaching someone, you can use notebook. 2 options, Jupyter and Google Colab. And Google Colab, it's sponsored by Google. It's very you have to use that online. You have to have the internet connections. this one you can use offline too. Yeah, let's move forward. So what is a string? So we all know a string is a set of character which is enclosed by a double quotes. Sounds very simple. Here are some example. Hello dev byte, the dev byte. Now I will there's one more point. The strings are ordered sequence. It means we can use indexing and slicing to grab a particular section of the string. I will explain indexing and slicing. So this is the indexing. For example, hello, HELLO, hello. Index always starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can use this index also. This is a reverse order, but it always the first character should be at 0 and the last character will be -1. It will start from there, -1, -2, -3, -4, and this thing goes on. Sounds very simple. We will do some examples to get more clarification later on. Okay, so let's talk about the slicing part. In slicing we try to grab a particular section from a string. So here's the syntax. 3 parameters mainly: start, stop, steps. In this slicing you can use start, stops alone. You may not use step. By default it will be 1 if you don't define step. So let me explain this property. What are the properties? So start is the starting point of the slice. Stop is the ending point of the slice, and that is not included. The point at which you end your slice will not include. I will show the example for better clarification. Then step size jump means when you how much jumps you take, that is defined by steps. So there are some couple of points you have to keep in mind. This plus symbol can be used for concatenation. Then this star is also used for repeater. I will show the example. Then this couple of function we all should know about that: x dot upper, x dot lower, and x dot split. So the name of the function is self-explanatory. So let me show you the syntax for split. So x dot split. So any character that belongs to x. Okay, let me show you some example. So right now for demo I am using Google Colab. Anyone can use that. And also all this presentation and this notepad I will upload that in my GitHub. Just do check. So let's get started. So first example for beloved, hello world. Run this. Yeah, works fine. Okay, let's find out the length. See, it gives out the exact length 11. Just count it: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. So it's also considered the space also between. So 11 is the answer. Okay, let me define a variable. Let me define this to a variable. Hello world. Let me check the type. Using this type function you can check the type of the value stored by the variable. See, it gives str. Str is the string data type. So let's perform some slicing operation. So if 1 colon, let's see what it gives. Yeah, hello world. So now you guys wondering why this thing came. So in my previous slides I have mentioned this example. Indexation always starts from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in our example, I have started the slicing from 1. So 0, 1. So 0 is ignored from where it started till the end. So it gives hello world. Then let's try out one more. Let's see. Okay. So in this case I have defined the stop variable. So in stop variable we all know the position which we defined will not be included. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So this 3 in hello, this 3, the last L, there are two L's, the last L will not be included, and before that all the characters will be printed out. Let's see. Yeah, this gives the whole output, whole strings gives the whole output, because we haven't defined anything. So let's try one more example. So this is, yeah, so -1. So we all know about this reverse indexing. I've used this indexing. So -1 is the last position of the character in a string. So in hello world the last letter reverse index position is -1. So I've just printed out that one. Okay. See, same thing. It ignored the last position as I have defined the stop variable, stop position. So it print out all the variables before the stop variable, stop character, stop position. Let's move to the function s dot upper. Let's see. So you guys can see the whole character, the whole string is printed out in caps, capital letter. Let's use this function lower. Yeah. Okay, we need one more box. S dot split. Uh, let's give E. See, in this example, hello world, the split function separates the whole string into two parts by using this variable as a breaking point. So E is situated after H. So before the E, H is considered as separate and stored as separate, and the rest LLO0, LLO and world is stored separate. Okay, so let's move forward. Yeah, integers. So we all know integers are a data type, and basically it consists of a whole number. So here are some basic example. Print 3 gives 3, print 3 plus 6 gives 9. So you can see I have also mentioned the data type, the type. 3 over here, print it's an integer type. The 9 over here, it's an integer type. But as soon as you used double inverted comma, double quotes, so this will print out the exact same expression used. So this is a string type. And one more thing, in Python we use print as an printout. We use print as an output statement, just like in C, printf. In C++ we use cout. Then in Java we use system.out.println. So similar to that, we use print in Python. Okay, let's move to our example. Let's show you. We show you some example. So equals to 6, print a plus 9. Very easy. Then see, so over here what had happened, previously we have initialized a with 3. Now in this statement, print a star star 3, the star star 3, it also represent, we also represent that a power of 3. So 3 3s are 9, 9 3s are 27. So this is the another way to represent the power, something to the power x to the power y. Okay, let's try out something else. Okay, s equals to a plus b. Let me check the type. See, I cannot use the type in this way, since because in the type it gives text 1 or 3 again. Sorry. So let me initialize the s first. Integer type, no problem. See, string. So as soon as you use this double inverted comma, the type of that variable changes. So it's string. Very easy. Let's move forward. So let's talk about variable. So what is a variable? So variable is just like a box with a name in which we can store a value. So here's one more link, this important link. In this link, if you just check this link, it will show you the proposal, lots of proposal used to enhance this Python development. How to write the, what are the criteria, what are the rules are used globally. So you can check all this stuff using that link. Then you can also override a variable simply by assigning a new value to it. So you can assign a variable multiple times. I will show that in my example. So this general shorthand syntax also works in Python also. So x equals to x plus 1 can be also written, we can also write that as x plus equals to 1. So let's move. So if a equals to 6, then again I try to initialize x 8. See, no error. Now let's print out the value. Print out the value of a. It stores the last value. Okay. So, and one more thing, this short hand syntax, it's applicable to all the operation. I mean, this will work. Suppose x equals to 1, then okay. So x plus 1. Sorry. Yeah. Now we try out the same thing. Gives a same type of value, it increases the value of x by 1. This things is applicable to all other operation. Let me use multiplication. Suppose into equals to 2, then print out the value 6. So previously the value of x was 3. Now I multiplied 3 with 2, so it gives 6. So let's move forward. Hmm. Booleans and conditions. So this is a syntax for if else. So the syntax goes like this: if there will be some condition, then after that condition we will use this colon, then this space is called indentation. This thing you have to keep in mind. Okay, this thing you have to keep in mind. This and over here you will write out some code that you want to print out if this condition gets true. Then if that condition doesn't work, means if this gives false, then this will move to this condition. If it will check for this condition, if this thing works, if this thing is true, then do something different, means it will print out this stuff. Then at the end, if this thing gets false, then it will check the other stuff and print out the rest command. Okay, let's move forward. Let's talk about the loop. So generally in Python we use two types, for loops and while loop. So the syntax goes like this: n equals to the def byte, then for each term in n, print each term. Okay, then I will show all the examples, don't worry about that. Then this while syntax, just check while some boolean condition do something else, do something different, very similar to. And this important three keywords you have to keep in mind: break, continue, pass. This similar stuffs are there in our C++ and Java 2 and C2 other languages. So in break, the general stuff, it breaks out the current closing enclosing loop. In continue, it goes to the top of the closed enclosing loop. And pass, it does nothing at all. It helps to avoid any syntax error. So let me show you some example. Okay, let me add some text. Try out the function. So suppose if we have suppose x equals to 8, then if x is greater than 9, colon, print x is print good. If x is less than then let's run this condition. Let's see. So it gives better. So as we know, x equals to 8. So this first condition is false. First condition is false, so it moves forward to the next condition. So that condition becomes true, and it ignores the rest condition and print out this executable code. Yeah, one more thing I just forgot to share you all guys. Comment system. So this is a single comment, and this is a multi-line. Let me show you some. Hello world. This is a block comment. This thing's used in when you later on when we will discuss about the function method definition. There we use this block comment. Generally we use single comment. So let's move. If run. So I equals to, let's discuss 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. This is a list. I will discuss about that list later on. Okay. N I. N. This is a very basic example. Yeah. Similarly, you can use a string to hello world for I'm using E. I. So it's very simple to use for loop. Guys, one more thing it came to my mind about the naming convention. Try to use a self-explanatory variable name. Don't use this randomly a equals to b, a equals to 5, b equals to 6. Use something meaningful. Let me show you one example. Suppose you are calculating some price. So cost price, suppose this is variable cost price. Cost price equals to 65. Then selling price is 100. Now we try to find out the total profit. price minus cost price, print total profit. So you can use this type of self-explanatory variable. It becomes easier for those who checks your code. It gives a good idea about the program and becomes very easier to understand your whole code. So let's talk about for loop. I have discussed about if, for loop. Let's discuss about while loop. While wait, x equals to 0, suppose uh, while x is greater than 10, print x x1 all done. See, so this is how while loop works. This is the syntax. You will initialize, you will initialize value, then condition check, condition check, then step increase. If I say step increase, and this is the output statement. So let's me show you one more example with while loop only. Let me copy the whole code. Okay, this is example, print x, and this, let's include one more condition. If x is equals to 4, suppose break print continue. Okay, let me remove this code. Okay, see, so as soon as the value of x reaches to 4, it breaks. Before that, this was moving on this was continuing. Let's try again. I didn't include the continue. Okay, yeah, same output. Okay, let's move forward. Structuring data. So mainly we have four types of structuring data, that is list, dictionaries, tuples, set. So what is a list? Lists are order sequence that can hold a variety of objects type. Syntax is n equals to this elongated bracket is the main focus. This should be the main focus. Then there are some couple of functions that we should know about that. Nappend, then npop, nsort, nreverse. So we will discuss about this later in our demo. Then let's discuss about dictionaries. So what is dictionary? By the name it suggests it's an unordered mapping of storing object. Generally in dictionary all the words are stored in certain mapping, alphabetical order. So this can in this over here this can be an unordered mapping. So you can see the syntax. Here we have a key 1 value and key 1 which is linked with the value 1, then key 2 which is linked with the value 2, and one as I previously mentioned that this is an unordered, so cannot be sorted. So this couple of points you have to keep in mind, and also there are some couple of functions very important. This d keys, values and items. Let's move to tuples. So what are tuples? Tuples are very similar to list. The main difference is with this brackets. You can see the difference. The previous one was having an elongated bracket. This one is just a first bracket. So it has two main important functions, count and index. So once an element is inside a tuple, it cannot be reassigned. I will explain that in my example. And there is the last term, the set are unordered collection of unique elements. Just like in maths we studied about the sets, everything should be unique, there is no repetition. So this is a syntax to initialize a set. N equals to set. There you can add some value. I have not included the value. So this is one function, n dot add. So let's get into my okay, let's define the list. L equals to 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. Okay, then let's find out its length. Right answer. Now let's find out, let's print out a particular section, suppose 0 1. Let's do some slicing. See, slicing 0, 1, 2, 3. The indexing will move like this, as I have previously mentioned that in my previous slides. So let's do one more thing. Okay, yeah, yeah, 1, 2, 3. So it will not include the uh, third character, third index, so that is 4. So let's print out, let's do this. Let's see this thing works or not. Yeah, so this star things will do the repetition work in the list. Let's do one more thing. Let's see what will be the output. Yeah, so we have to do something else. For that we will start a loop. Let me check the value of L, current value. Okay, so for number L, print number and that also was another list with so let's see if these things work or not. Let me see. So it prints out the last value of the number. Let's do one more thing. Let's change this. Power new number, sorry, number, then use this new number. Let's see this first. Okay, this thing's for gives the last, it stores the last value of the new number. Let's do one thing. Can I yeah, okay, so right now the value, what are the value we have stored? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we want to add some values into the list, so we will use this function append. So suppose 5. Yeah. Now if you want to remove a variable as a value from this list, just use this function. It will remove the last value. Just check it. I guess you can remove a particular position. You can remove a particular variable. Three is being removed. 0, 1, 2. So this 2 is the index position. Index position. This index position indexing is very important. You always keep this in mind. Let's start with tuple. So suppose if I initialize a tuple with this value, so t dot count, so it shows the count value. It shows the repetition. Suppose we include more. So let's try out this. Yeah. So 1 is repeated 3 times. It through t dot count, it will give the repetition. Let me write something for better understanding. So it counts the number of times the element is repeated. Okay. So let's index. Let's find out the position of 2, 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So let's define this. What it does, this function shows the position of element inside the tuple. And one more thing, you always keep this in mind. When you use this function, you have to give one argument. If you don't give one argument at least, then this will give an error. So let's talk about set. See, so I have initialized a set. You can see this example in t. Before we just see the value of t, let me show you the value of t. See, so this 1 is repeated 3 times, but instead the value unique value is stored. So only 1 is only stored only once, then 2, then 3. So all the elements are very unique. You can add more stuffs to a set. Suppose add let's add 4. Okay, let me see the values. See, 1 2 3 4. Let's add one more, 4 again. Let's see. So only 4 is stored only once. So in this structuring data, we already talked about the list, then we talked about the tuples, then we talked about the set. Let's we talk about the last tuple set, then dictionary. It's very important, dictionary. Suppose value, roll number 1, his name is Jack. Name is Orange. One more. That is 3. Key number 3. Dog. Okay. So dictionary is being defined. So let's print out some values. So dictionary dot keys. So let me see. So let's see the keys. What are the keys? So we have in this particular dictionary, we have three keys: 01, 02, 03. So let me define this function for you. So this function, it shows all the keys present in the dictionary. Dictionary. So let's try it one more. Values. Let's see this function. It shows all the values of the dictionary, that is Jack, Orange and Dog. So let me define this function for you. So in this case, it shows all the values present in the dictionary. Okay, sound fair? Okay, now what items? So let me try out. Okay, so it shows all the tuples. Let me define this at first, then is this stored, this all these things stored in the form of tuple. So dictionary is a set of a tuple. Not a set means it's a collection of tuple. So this is unordered and cannot be sorted. And one more thing, this objects are this object I mean these values can be retrieved using the key. So I think I have explained, I've given you some brief example. Let's move. So thank you guys, this is the end of this lecture. Let's see you guys later on our next lecture.